UFTDA recognized tournament here in North Richland Hills, Dallas, Texas, home of the Dallas Derby Devils. I'm Dork Mistress.
And I'm Party on Barth. Welcome this morning. We're looking at Panhandle United Roller Derby up against the Rockin City Roller Girls.
So if we go through the rosters quickly to start, Rockin City Roller Girls greatest hits. Today we have 02 Bazooka Langley, 0260 Vava Vroom, 101 Calarella DeVille, 1096 Chola Roller, 2070 Shiner Knock, 211 Beth Witch, 22 Anthrax, 23 Fury, 42 Red Ripper, 48 Moneezy, 5011 Moxie Balboa, 5678 Bossy Nova, 669 Miss Destruction, 789 Insidious, and 989 Dimples Destroyer.
And skating in the black for Panhandle United, we have 004 Tank, 03 Packs a Punch, 1029 Nick Vicious, 11 Quentin Tarantuyu, 15 Rainbow, 1620 Orville Reckenblocker, 1987 Rain of Pain, number 23 Sicilian Psycho, 2626 Susie Q, number 4 Mia Slapaho, 44 Granny Crush, 673 Dixie Moonshiner, 689 J-Lo Payne, number 7 Mitchie Gangster, and number 910 Ivana Tormentia.
And our skating officials today are Nitsugi, Jesse Jackass, PK Biddy, Gym Class Hero, Doesn't Matter, Nacho, Maverick, and Dilly Gaff.
And our non-skating officials, Manda Panda, Just Eric, Uberlicious, Ricochet, Allison, The Doctor, Wolverine, Dr. Dreidel, and Lucky D. Irish.
So both teams have already played in this tournament. Rockin City lost against Kansas City yesterday morning to be here. And Panhandle lost against Pikes Peak, again to be here this morning. We've just seen Kansas City take on Pikes Peak in an absolute nail-biter of a game. And I think this one has the potential to be just as exciting.
No question. Well, this has the potential to be pretty much the third monster mashup we've had. Yesterday we had, if you're watching on the archives here, we know it's not a live stream. Yeah. If you're watching on the archives, the Assassination City versus Crossroads City game was obscene.
I was calling that in-house, and on the broadcast, and anybody who's listening to that on the archives is going to hear me basically absolutely lose my mind.
I was in the stands, and being a native of New Mexico, where Crossroads City is from, holy smokes, but everybody here is becoming an Assassination City. I really think they're kind of flying under the radar.
Yep.
Amazing showing so far in Clover Cup. The Kansas City Pikes Peak game, you were right.
Yeah.
Great game. This has all the potential with Rockin City and Panhandle United of doing the exact same thing.
So yesterday, Moxie Balboa stood out for me in Rockin City in a game-changing jammer. Biggest jammer in their team. Who stood out in Panhandle for you yesterday?
Panhandle, we've seen some really, really good stuff out of J-Lo Payne, who actually is on the jam line right now on the first jam in black, number 689, J-Lo Payne, up against, let's see here, that
Moxie
looks
Balboa.
like Moxie Balboa. Moxie Balboa also did some great things in that game, but J-Lo Payne, kind of the jammer style I really enjoy. I like the jammers who dig into the track. Yeah. Really pushing there. J-Lo Payne picks up lead jammer here, and we are off and running. Both jammers out of the box. J-Lo picks up the points, calls off the jam as Moxie was coming up on the pack. Looks like that's going to be a 4-point play for Panhandle United. I love day 2 of tournaments.
Because you've got you're sort of into the groove of it being in this tournament world, and we actually have I think that is a timeout called by Panhandle because they wanted a correction on the board.
It looks like just a quick. I don't think they're actually going to be charged with a full timeout there. It looks like the scoreboard just didn't get the points up there quite yet. Wanted to make sure that was up there, so this should be probably just a little correction on the time there, I'd imagine.
So I think that's turned into an official timeout to make sure everything is correct.
And on the jammer line now, we're going to go ahead and see Rainbow for Panhandle United up against Chola Rolla. And actually, yes, there is going to be a team timeout charged to Panhandle United, it looks like.
So while we're in this timeout, chance to talk about Pro Design. Since 1986, Pro Design Inc. continues to manufacture 100% USA-made, world-class protective products right out of Houston, Texas. Texas built, Texas tough. All right, and yeehaw from Texas.
You do know how much the rest of us appreciate your yeehaw coming out there.
I just apologize to the entire state of Texas every time I do it.
I don't think an apology is necessary. I think it's a delightful little hint on there. And it's, again, somebody from New Mexico endorsed. All right, it looks like timeout is over here. Still got a little bit of a chat.
Hang on. It looks as though the United coach was looking for an official review. The hand signal was being used for an official review.
Certainly standing inside the track with the O.
But it's now an official timeout, so I think there is, that what they were looking for hasn't been addressed yet. Now there's a timeout. I'm just watching hand signals on the Panhandle United coach.
Yeah, at this point it looks like the timeout was the Panhandle United coach actually did come in with the T, came in calling the timeout to check the clock. I can only assume, obviously, from here, which of course we never want to be doing, but coming into the center there, only needed the points check up. It now has walked back, has come back, holding the O, but not really displaying it, asking for an official review. So we are not seeing an official review actually called.
Nope.
The official timeout was called, though, because the timeout had ended, but nobody was back on. Everybody's back on the track.
Yep.
Chola Rolla, Rainbow for the Jammers. Here we go. And it looks like we've got a Rockin City pivot starting out in the box, so we're going to have a pack disadvantage for Rockin City. But Cholarola's not worried about that at all. Picks up lead for the white jerseys. Rainbow's out of the pack, though. Both Jammers coming around the back curve. Pack picking up a little bit of speed going into turn number 2.
And just to make sure everybody's picked up, it is Rockin City playing in the white. It's Panhandle United in the black. I realize I hadn't told everybody.
Should be a nice, easy one to keep track of who's who on that one. Nice moves there by Chola. Caught the pack, picked up the 4. That's going to be 4 points both ways. The end of jam number 2 for all. On the jammer line, number 44 in black, Granny Crush, up against number 669 in white. That's going to be Miss Destruction.
So this first couple of jams have felt a bit tentative. I expected the teams to have watched each other yesterday and come out with a bit of a plan. I haven't got that sense, but we are only 2 jams in.
Could still be feeling each other out. Could have changed some strategies. Both teams did come away unsuccessful yesterday in bouts. Tough competition all around. Somebody's going to come away with the L. So they might be changing some things up. Panhandle United now 2 blockers in the penalty box, but number 669 in white, that's Miss Destruction, picks up lead for Rockin City Roller Girls. And just as I say that, Granny Crush for Panhandle United head to the box. This is going to be a 30-second power jam for Rockin City.
And a power jam this early in the game gives a team a chance to build a bit of a lead and get some momentum. So this is important for Rockin City and Miss Destruction, who clears on their first scoring pass.
Rockin City using some passive offense here. Now sending 1 offensive pivot in. A little bit of nice. Oh, was going for that forearm block there. Almost a multiplayer on the Panhandle defense. So that was good for Rockin City there. Just hanging back a little bit, a little passive offense. Allows Chola to get 2 scoring passes, 8 points on the board.
So that's 12 points for Rockin City, 4 for Panhandle United. 27 minutes left in this half. Panhandle coming in ranked 152 in the WFTDA and Rockin City at 141. So this is super close.
Absolutely. Very close. Good matchup here. Got to give some major props there to Chola Rolla. Miss Destruction called off the jam after getting the 4 points and still was able to ice the last few seconds of Granny Crush's penalty there. Yeah. So this is going to be a power start for Rockin City.
Yep. Hanthrax pushing out up front on turn 1.
So Granny Crush coming out of the box there. I am seeing, I think that's 22 maybe for Rockin City Jammer.
And we are 30 seconds in still without a lead. Announcer's curse. It is Hanthrax lead jammer for Rockin City.
I will take that curse all day long. Love to see somebody pick up lead there, get control of the clock. Penalty box is open. Hanthrax reapproaching the pack. Slides through turn number 2. And Granny Crush is out now. Both jammers are in scoring position. Hanthrax recycled on the outside. Sees the call from the bench, who was running emphatically out there for the call off. Calls off the jam. 0-0 going on the board there. Great move by Panhandle United there. That was almost a full pass that they had the jammer out. Still were able to hold, though. Make sure no points go on the board against them. On the jammer line, we're going to see number 11, Quinton Tarantuyu in the black for Panhandle United, up against 5011. That's Moxie Balboa again. Quinton Tarantuyu taking the inside line, hops to the outside as Moxie takes on the Panhandle United in lane 1, inside lane there. Both jammers pushing forward. The Rockin City blockers set up toward the front. Trying to get an out-of-play push here for Quinton. No pack called. Rockin City did not release there, so that's going to be a penalty for an out-of-play. But Quinton, as the no-earned pass there, does not pick up lead. Lead is still eligible for Moxie. If Moxie can clear one more blocker, knocked out of bounds, though. Quinton puts up 4, but we still do not have a lead jammer.
And we will not, as Moxie Balboa has taken off the helmet cover for a helmet stash, not realizing the lead was still open. Oh, this means this is a 2-minute jam and an opportunity for Panhandle to put some points on the board. Moxie still on turn 3 on her initial pass.
Moxie with a fantastic, is that a star stash? I thought the star pass had happened. Star is in hand. And now Moxie's headed to the box, so now we have a Panhandle power jam. Quinton Tarantuyu has already put 12 points on the board and now has a 30-second power jam.
We talked just a jam or two ago about the importance of a jammer penalty or a power jam in these first few minutes. Now both teams have had that chance, but Panhandle are the ones who are maximizing that.
Not a bad way to end out a 2-minute jam here for us, but Quinton now with a track cut. Quinton's headed to the box. I think we're going to have maybe a quick jam switch. Quinton still standing, has not sat down, so that's going to be a full 30-second penalty served there. Quinton stood long enough for Moxie to serve the full 30 seconds, be released from the box, so we're going to have a Rockin City power start.
And that was a bit of an error from Quinton Tarantuyu. Should have sat down straight away. Would have minimized the length of their own penalty.
I would agree with you most of the time, but Quinton stood there very intently, so almost as if it was a
strategy.
You could be. All right, that jam is over. That is a 14-point jam for Panhandle United. That swings it. 23 minutes left in the game. 18 Panhandle United, 12 for Rockin City.
And that is our second lead change of the game.
Oh, it's going to be one of those games.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games.
I better get another bottle of water. On the jammer line, number 1069, a Cholo Rolla in the white. Again, this is a power start for Rockin City. Rockin City is out there with 3 blockers with a pivot sitting in the box. Cholo Rolla taking the inside line. Rockin City sending a couple of blockers, sending one blocker in for some offensive help, try to break up that Panhandle defense. Chola passes, reform right in front though, so Chola has lead. However,
and there's a lot of whistles going on up on that apex, and it's Panhandle with a blocker in the box, but it is Cholo Rolla who makes it out, but it's just on their initial pass, and it's a cut track penalty for Quinton Tarantuyu.
Ooh, Panhandle with another jammer penalty. Not what you want to see, especially early on in the game here. Chola, though, that was actually an interesting to see the hand signals. Chola had earned a lead, was recycled into the pack, and then got an unearned pass. So still lead. That's what matters. So Cholo Rolla does control the clock right now. Puts 4 points on the board for Rockin City, and here we go for a few more. Nice offensive help. Right
huge
here.
And messy offense.
That was fantastic. That was insidious right in front of the announcer table. Nice hit, clears out. 8 points on the board for the white jerseys.
And we have lead change number 3. Rockin City Roller Girls now on 20 points. Panhandle United on 18. 9 minutes gone in this game.
And on the jammer line for the power start for Rockin City, we're looking at Miss Destruction. Rockin City's taking a position again, looking like a passive offense. They've got 1 blocker in the box, so with the pack disadvantage here, set up 2 blockers on the inside for a possible pinch. Here comes the offensive help. Not passive. They did send the blockers. Last blocker, though, caught Miss Destruction there just enough. Recycle back. Knocked out of bounds now on the outside. Recycle back one more time by Ivana Tormentia for Panhandle. There's the lead at turn number 2. Good job by Panhandle United, though. It was about 20 seconds there they held on the power start before lead was established. All the blockers are out. We've got all 8 blockers out there. Jammer standing for Panhandle United.
That was a huge hit there from Panhandle United.
And it drew the track cut. So, Miss Destruction's headed to the box. We're going 2 minutes here. And just as quick as Quentin gets out, Quentin Tarantuyu is headed back to the box on a track cut.
That is her 3rd penalty, and that's in 10 minutes.
So Quentin's probably going to have a little bit of a quieter first half here. With that many penalties early out here, you can't think Panhandle's going to be keeping her out still for a while.
Yeah.
But that puts Miss Destruction back on the track. We're going 2 minutes with no lead. Jammer working the outside line, just leaning on that Panhandle tripod. Here come the rest of the blockers. Quentin's released on the short penalty time, so everybody in a mash right here on the straightaway. Forearm block called on number 7, the Panhandle pivot, Mitchie Gangster. Miss Destruction trying to work the inside. There's another Panhandle blocker headed to the box.
And that does have the ability, well, that's let Miss Destruction out. And with just 2 blockers on track and some great offense from Rockin City to keep them apart.
Good defensive stand here. We're only seeing 4 points here. We're 10 seconds left in this jam. There's the 4 more. Miss Destruction puts 8 on the board for the jam.
Panhandle go into offense, but it's a big hit from Bossy Nova that pushes the jammer for Panhandle out, and the jam comes to an end. 8 points for Rockin City, taking them to 28. Panhandle still on 18. 10 minutes gone in this first half.
On the jammer line, we're going to see J-Lo Payne for Panhandle United up against number 22. That's Hanthrax again. In the white for Rockin City.
So we've just seen these momentum swings in the first 10 minutes. It's crazy.
We said it early on. Good matchup here.
Yeah.
It might be one of those games where it just comes down to who sends more people to the penalty box more often.
So we have Hanthrax on the line for Rockin City up against J-Lo Payne.
Penalty box just clears out there, so we've got everybody back on the track. J-Lo Payne said it earlier, just digging in. Turn 2. You can tell J-Lo's one of those jammers who on turn 2 and turn 4 will just lean into the track and rip through it. Picks up lead. Here come the points. Hanthrax is out. Comes around turn 2. J-Lo's are coming. Calls off the jam. 4 points on the board for Panhandle United.
So that takes them up to 22 points, just 6 points behind Rockin City.
And we see Moxie Balboa up against Rainbow on the jam line. Nice little friendly kind of a wink and a smile on the jammer line. That'll end in a couple of seconds.
Serious business.
Panhandle United going to start with 1 blocker in the box. Rainbow setting on the outside. Moxie Balboa is on the inside line, pushing right into the Panhandle tripod. Moxie actually opened up the doorway there for Rainbow, pushed the tripod out of the way. That left lane 1 on the inside wide open for lead jammer for Rainbow. Moxie's out, though. Here we go, picking up points. Rainbow, 4 points on the board, calls the jam on turn 1. 4 points, Panhandle United. 2 point difference.
Yep.
28 Rockin City, 26 Panhandle United.
So 2 point game with 17 minutes left in this half.
Looks like
I'm not sure I'm going to cope with this tournament.
Day 2, game 2. Yeah, we're already getting our stamina workout here. Granny Crush back out on the jammer line up against Chola Rolla in the white for the Rockin City Roller Girls. Chola working the inside line up against a brace 2 block there. Granny Crush, the whole Rockin City defense on the back line still holding. Chola's out, picks up lead.
But Granny Crush is also out. Half the track behind Chola Roller approaching for points.
Granny's
2 blockers. Oh, and hit out to the inside, but gets the 4 points. Smart call off from Chola Roller, but Panhandle picking up 1 point, taking them 32 for Rockin City, 27 for Panhandle.
That's what you like to see as a coach there. Granny Crush was not in position for lead, probably at least 3/4 of a track behind the track when she got through the pack, still able to put 1 more point on, and Panhandle's calling for an official review, so we're going to see what happens here in this. So about 16 and a half minutes there before our first official review. We've had the 1 timeout that was used in the first jam there. So far, pretty clean game there on the time clock.
Absolutely, and while we're in this official review, chance to talk to you about Rollercon. If you've never been, you don't understand the scale of it. 13 tracks, 200 games, 2 tournaments, 4 rule sets, a skate park, hundreds of coaches and classes, plus parties and 24-hour access to the pool, all in Las Vegas.
Lovely. 120-degree Las Vegas.
I've never been, but that sounds a bit too hot for me.
Honestly, the hotel and the convention center, because it's going to be at the convention center mostly this year, they'll take care of you. Vegas is used to the triple digits, and they're used to taking care of people. So, yeah, I would say if you have any interest whatsoever, we were discussing before the bout here, your particular travels for Derby, I would definitely put RollerCon on the list at least once one year, just to be able to say you did it. If you've never been to RollerCon, and if you're not somebody who travels to a lot of the tournaments, especially listening to this, I highly recommend it. RollerCon's a place where if you have any interest in officiating, announcing, there's really a lot of learning that can be done there. You can try it all.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's not really that bad to be hanging out and partying after a class with a Freight Train, a Scald Eagle, a Miracle Whips, an All-Star, and then you get to hang out with them at the party afterwards. It's not a bad week.
That does sound like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of everything.
Also, thank you to our sponsors, Atom Skates. High-quality skates for affordable pricing. Something for everyone at Atom Skates. Check them out online.
Looking over our vendor village here, did a great job here. Big shout out to our host league, the Dallas Derby Devils here. At the Clover Cup here, I'm looking over, I see Bont. Oh.
And the official review has concluded.
That was a very quick conclusion. I actually didn't catch what it was there, but it looks like Panhandle still has a blinking little dot for the official review. So on the jammer line, getting ready here, J-Lo Payne up against Anthrax.
Just looking at the board to see, and actually the official review was lost by Panhandle United, so what they were looking for they didn't get, so we're underway as we were. Anthrax on the jam line against J-Lo Payne.
So a little bit of time there to catch up there. Anthrax takes advantage, catches a breath of fresh air, picks up lead coming through turn number 1, packs it up between 1 and 2. All kinds of whistles going on there. Somebody's going to the box. Looks like Rockin City's sending a blocker. And then both jammers still working on the front side here. Anthrax trying to pick up points. 2 more to beat on a braced block here on the back straightaway. And there's J-Lo Payne breaking out there. Initial pass is complete. Both jammers in scoring position.
But Anthrax is right behind J-Lo Payne on a jammer chase down. Anthrax being lead is letting J-Lo Payne into the pack on a point scoring position. So playing it long, but takes a big spill to the floor.
Anthrax giving a hand signal coming around the curve. Looked like it might have been, on my league, it would have been get to the front, but the Rockin City blockers did stay in the back position there. Anthrax looked to the bench, picked up the points. Now coming through the pack, picked up 3 more points. Did take the call to call off the jam there. So went long on that one. That's a 6-4 Rockin City's, 7-4 Rockin City's jam.
So I think, unfortunately, didn't pay off for them in that occasion. I can see why they went for it, but it doesn't always quite play out. So 39 points for Rockin City, now playing 31 for Panhandle. So eking that lead out another 3 points. 14 minutes 50 left in this half.
On the jammer line, Miss Destruction up against Rainbow. Looks like Panhandle's going to put their tripod on the inside line, just pushed to the outside. Rainbow actually kind of moved them a little bit there. Rainbow meeting the Rockin City tripod on the inside. Rainbow almost had lane 1 open there, just pushed out of bounds by Rockin City blocker. Great heads-up play there. Both jammers recycled out of bounds. The Panhandle United Orville Redden blocker pivot there with holding.
Great one-on-one blocking from Orville.
Both jammers out. Rainbow does not have lead. That's going to leave lead open for Miss Destruction, who calls off the jam before Rainbow could hit the pack. 0 points on the board. So this could be one of those things going long there. You wonder if Rockin City, recognizing the matchup, as matched as these two are and how well they're holding up together, Rockin City has a 58% lead percentage at this point. So this could be one of those where they're saying, hey, when you get lead, let's run it a little bit longer. Take that 3-point advantage on the jam and inch our way forward and out of the way.
And you can see that. I mean, the points per jam, 3 for Rockin City, 2.4 from Panhandle. So Rockin City usually able to do better when they have lead. But not lead in this case because it's Granny Crush for Panhandle.
And on the jammer line for Rockin City, we have number 5011, Moxie Balboa's back out again. So yeah, this is one of those, there's an 8-point advantage. We just need one big jam. Granny Crush comes through, gets the 4 points, calls the jam. Just in time.
Oh, just in time.
No points, Rockin City. 4 points, Panhandle United.
We were looking to see if there was 1 or 2 snaked points, but nope. So that is 35 points now for Panhandle, 39 for Rockin City. Just 4 points in this game.
On the jammer line, we see Quentin Tarantuyu in the black for Panhandle United up against number 1096. That's Cholo Rolla out again. Panhandle United setting up on the jammer line, even rolling back a little bit to meet the jammers. We've got 3 blockers out for Rockin City in the front side. Cholo Rolla comes through. Panhandle United, though, picks up lead.
Cholo Rolla picking up 75% of the jams as lead jammer, which is the highest percentage, I think, of anybody at the moment.
And it looks like Quentin's out also. Both jammers are in scoring position. Cholo's going to go ahead and pick up the... Well, there's 3, maybe past the hips on there, but knocked out of bounds and recycled by Orville Reckenblocker. Quentin picks up 4 points as well with the jam called off.
Yeah, Cholo Rolla left that call off a little late, which allowed the 4 points for Panhandle. So 3 points for Rockin City Roller Girls, 4 points for Panhandle United, 42 now playing 39, 3-point game. Oh, this is tense.
On the jammer line, we're looking at Hanthrax versus J-Lo Payne. I'm telling you, when you see a couple of jams called off, what we consider late, but it's happened multiple times, and they're looking at the benches, you got to think it's an actual strategy. That was definitely a strategy. 989 Dimples Destroya shoved J-Lo Payne out. J-Lo Payne recycled back in front. That's a track cut. Power jam, Rockin City.
Lead jammer Hanthrax out of the pack, completing their initial pass, now in scoring points.
Pack setting up on the curve between turns 1 and 2. Hanthrax, one more blocker to beat, gets through just before the out of play. 4 points on the board for the white jerseys. Panhandle United sending 2 blockers out of the box, 1 back in, but that's going to give a lot of help there against that pack disadvantage. Rockin City's hanging back some passive offense. Here they come with a fan sweep. Inside line wide open. Number 7, Mitchie Gangster, avoided the sweep, held Cholo Rolla for a moment there just long enough, but that's 4 points on the board, and now Mitchie's headed to the penalty box for Panhandle United. J-Lo Payne's back on the track, clears initial pass. Hanthrax coming back for some more points.
That was great jamming from J-Lo Payne. Had a full Rockin City wall in front of her, but it was just,
J-Lo Payne came out of nowhere. Hanthrax had no idea she was back on the track. Every single white jersey on the bench was screaming to call it.
And Panhandle believed that they got points, but the refs are like, no, sorry, no points. So that's 8 points for Rockin City Roller Girls, 50 now playing 39 for Panhandle. 10 minutes left. Yeah, that dip on the outside was so low.
That was
nose
close.
Was on the track. I mean,
Miss Destruction up against Rainbow there. Woo! Pile up there on the straightaway. That last jam's going to take me a moment to recover from. That's the kind of jamming you want from both of your jammers.
But it is a jammer hit out. Miss Destruction hitting out Rainbow, so a big recycle back.
Wow.
Miss Destruction piled into the pack, but it's Rainbow that comes out as lead.
Miss Destruction's headed to the box, though. Looks like a forearm penalty. That was a bowling move right there. Just took all the pins out. Unfortunately, one of them was illegal, so Rainbow's got the power jam and lead jammer. Rainbow working on the inside line of the curve between 3 and 4. Picks up 4 points. Coming back for more. So Panhandle United setting up on the backside there. Rockin City's trying to put a form inside on the curve. Here comes Panhandle. A little bit of offensive help for Rainbow. Inside line, not quite open there. Whole lot of black jerseys open up the outside line, but just at the last moment there, Insidious for Rockin City closed that lane.
Miss Destruction out of the penalty box, back on track, having to push hard.
Pile up on turn 1. There's the whistle. We got a multiplayer block being called on. That looks like number 03 packs a punch. Rainbow comes out, though, puts 4 on the board for Panhandle. It's 8 points so far this jam.
Miss Destruction with a helmet cover in her hand. And Panhandle, just a 2-wall up front against Moneasy. So we did... The helmet cover stash turned into a star pass. Moneasy now jamming for Rockin City. Completing that initial pass, Rainbow sees the danger, calls the jam.
Good heads-up play there. Rainbow was going for a couple more points. It was going to be one of those, I might get one, she might get two. Let's just get off the track.
Oh, wow.
2 more on the board.
Yeah, 10 points for Panhandle, takes them to 49. Rockin City sit on 50.
Woo. Get that water ready. We might have a lead change. And that's a whistle. Team timeout called by Rockin City.
Good time for Rockin City to call a timeout. That's strategic timing from their coach, their bench coach, to say, okay, let's have a bit of a regroup. Panhandle coming back, closing down that gap. Want to try and take that momentum away from them.
Really impressed watching the benches here. Both benches they've got some great coaching out on the sides also, doing a little bit of that third base coaching there, but really heads up from the coaches on both sides here.
Yeah.
I understand passive coaching a lot of times, and it's kind of like, hey, we practice what we practice. Let's let the team do what they do. These benches here are doing a heck of a job making sure the players know what's going on out there. So we are in Clover Cup. This is March 22nd to the 24th in lovely North Richland Hills, Texas. Other WFTDA recognized tournaments. We have just started tournament season. Here we go. Next weekend in Tucson, Arizona, we're looking at Dust Devil, April 12th to the 14th, Euro Cup. Then we keep going into the Siege of CYN, Skate of Thrill, West Track Story, Coastal Chaos, Southern Discomfort, K-Town Showtown, and that's just in April.
That's crazy.
Got some great WFTDA recognized tournaments. If you need any information on WFTDA, of course, always check out WFTDA.com. Watch the games on WFTDA.tv.
Nicely done. Ready to go back to the game. We have an official timeout.
Ooh, last second. Looks like we've got a ref. I believe that's our head ref, Amanda Panda, inside, out at the Rockin City bench.
Yeah.
So just a little bit more
And we can't
conference.
really get underway without the head ref being in the position to see everything.
We love all of our officials. We definitely need the head ref there. Gotta know where the pack is. We need to know where that pack is. All right, that looks like that official timeout's over there. We're looking at J-Lo Payne up against Moxie Balboa. I don't think we've seen this lineup, these two up against each other yet. We've seen plenty of them. Just haven't seen them together yet. J-Lo Payne looking at the outside there.
Oh,
wow.
J-Lo Payne saw a gap between bodies and went through it under the shoulders. Lead jammer, but Moxie Balboa also out of the pack.
Great move there by J-Lo. J-Lo being a shorter jammer there, you know, it's not new to come up against taller blockers. Calls out the jam, picks up the 4 points. This is a great move. Rockin City was at a great spot on the jammer line with their tripod. She went right down the middle of them.
So that is a lead change. Panhandle United now on 53. Rockin City Roller Girls on 50. 7.5 minutes left in this half. Wow.
Raise your glass, have a sip on that lead change.
I would toast J-Lo's off the jam line start. That was something of beauty.
Hey, nothing take away, though, from Moxie there, putting the pressure, make sure that was only a 4-point jam on the jammer line. Now we are looking at Chola Rolla up against Rainbow. Chola picks up lead, coming right into turn number 1. Here we go for the points.
That was Panhandle not blocking to the line, let that happen. But Rainbow is also out of the pack, so just half the track between the two jammers.
Rainbow out of the pack, Panhandle United setting the front side of the blockers. Rainbow able to pass 3 before calling off the jam. Rainbow not able to get any on the board there, so that's going to be a 3-point jam for Rockin City. Tie game, 5-3, 53 all. Boy, that's NSO mode if ever there's one, saying the score in alphanumeric order there.
Or ref speak.
And speaking of ref speak there, black 4-4 on the line. Granny Crush up against white 2-2. Anthrax on the jams. Panhandle United setting up on the backside, catching Anthrax off the line. Right through the middle. Necessarily not. Must have been on the outside. Granny Crush called on a track cut. Headed to the box. This is going to be a power jam. Rockin City.
Anthrax on the apex between turns 1 and 2. Just has 2 Panhandle blockers ahead. One, the wall reforms in front.
So it looks like Rockin City's caught a Panhandle blocker in the back. So they're trying to hold back. They're holding the pack in the back Panhandle United's tripod setting to the front. Here comes Rockin' City's offensive help.
And Granny Crush is released from the box, so that is the end of the power jam. Hanthrax lead, so has been able to capitalize on it.
Great penalty kill there. Lead was established by Rockin' City, but no points on the board for the white jerseys.
This is not even a scoring pass. This is still Hanthrax's initial pass, looking at the jam ref's hand signals.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was an effective shutdown by Panhandle.
Minute 3 seconds before Hanthrax was able to exit. Hanthrax comes out of the pack on the backside straightaway. Granny Crush, hot on her heels, calls off the jam. Double lot, 2 zeros on that.
So still a tied game. Missed destruction on the jam line for Rockin' City.
Up against Quentin Tarantuyu. So setting up on the jam line, it looks like we've got Rockin' City set a tripod on the outside lanes 3 and 4. Lanes 1 and 2 are held up by Panhandle United. And a little bit of jockeying for position to see where the blocker's going to end up. Quentin takes the outside line, lane 4.
Yeah, there was a Panhandle bookend set up for her on the jam line.
Just recycled. Ooh. Nice yield there to avoid the track cut. Oh, no! Not what you want to see from Miss Destruction. Miss Destruction stayed back. The Panhandle United blocker came back, got called on the out of play, but then came forward back into play, and Miss Destruction came in front, gets the track cut. Power jam for Quentin Tarantuyu for Panhandle United.
I think the reason for the groan is that was something that could have been avoided.
Right there, just right there. But you know what? That's props to the blocker there for drawing that cut there.
Yeah.
And props to everybody else. There's not seeing Quentin getting released yet here. So Quentin does have lead. One more white jersey to beat.
And
that's 4 points for Panhandle United, breaking the tie.
Yeah. But that's taken 1 minute for Panhandle to pick up their first scoring pass. Now back in the pack for a second. Miss Destruction still in the penalty box. And I just saw Quentin Tarantuyu having a look over. Miss Destruction... Did Miss Destruction pick up 2 penalties? Because this has been a long penalty.
Not sure. I didn't see a 2 signal from the ref. But Quentin did pick up the points, and here we go. We saw this earlier. Good to see it now. Quentin picked up 3, knocked out of bounds and down to the ground. Calls off the jam, icing Miss Destruction on the last.
No. Miss Destruction was released literally at the last second.
So that's a nice thing to see for Rockin' City. Rockin' City is going to be happy to have a jammer out there.
Yep.
So we've got J-Lo Payne on the line for Panhandle United up against Moxie Balboa.
Panhandle picking up 11 points in that last jam, taking them to 64 points, and Rockin' City on 53.
Those multi-pass jams have been hard to come by this game, so you know Panhandle's happy to see 11 points there. Moxie pushing up the front side. Panhandle United's blockers are on the front. J-Lo Payne's able to get through Rockin' City. And Moxie's headed to the box here. This is going to be a power jam. Panhandle United for J-Lo Payne.
And J-Lo Payne makes the most of that. Gets a whip off a colleague to find that inside line with speed, picking up the 4 points. And we have 3 Rockin' City blockers up front. And it's offense from number 1620, which is Orville Rockin blocker, to get J-Lo Payne through.
Always nice when we're saying a blocker name in the stats here. I know announcers tend to lean on the jammers for any kind of a statement out there. Orville Redden blocker's names come up a lot, and that's something, saying something there. J-Lo Payne coming out. It's been interesting here. During that power jam, Moxie's back out on the track here. Panhandle United was still holding a tripod with no Rockin' City jammer on the track. So I don't know if that was to kind of confuse the Rockin' City blockers, but Moxie's able to get out, clears initial pass. J-Lo Payne saw it, called off the jam here. That's a 12-point jam for Panhandle United. That's back-to-back double-point, 2-point jams.
So, 12 points, he said. 76 now for Panhandle, 53 for Rockin' City Rollers. Panhandle have only picked up lead 8 times in this game as opposed to 11 for Rockin' City. But it's been those last 2 or 3 that have been the most crucial.
It's an interesting looking at the stats here. I'm seeing a 21-13 penalty ratio. So Panhandle's had 21 penalties. They're still winning.
Yeah.
So this has been a great play out here on the jammer line. Looks like Cholorola no longer on the jam line. Picks up lead jammer for Rockin' City. Rainbow out on the track there in the black for Panhandle United. Cholorola coming on the inside line, comes inside outside on the turn. rainbows through initial pass, so we've got both jammers in scoring position. Panhandle United getting ready, trying to hold off Chola before any points are on the board. 3 on the board when Chola calls off the jam. So Rockin City able to break the no-score streak there, only 2 jams.
Yeah.
And we're looking at about just over 30 seconds there.
So we will have another jam before the end of the half. So it's 56 now playing 76. So Panhandle in the lead by 20 points.
And coming up on this final jam for the first period, we're looking at Anthrax in white for Rockin City up against Granny Crush in black for Panhandle United. Blocker setting up a little bit more toward the pivot line there, so they're going to go ahead and have the jammers meet them. Granny Crush knocked out of bounds through the inside of the track. Anthrax really working against that Panhandle United. That tripod's reformed perfectly there. Anthrax, though, able to get him on the turn on turn 2. Inside line, picks up lead. Granny able to pick up the same hole for Panhandle. Comes out an initial pass. Everybody's in scoring position. Anthrax is definitely motion. Let's get up there, get up front. I want points.
The pack has sped up, and it's Anthrax trying to get points. Sneaks the 1.
And gets
2.
the nod on the track for the box.
Yeah,
so that's going to be 2.
So that's 58 points for Rockin City as we go into halftime. 76 for Panhandle. This game is by no means done.
Not a like I say, looking at if you're a stats person here, I'm seeing a 56% lead jam. Yeah. I'm seeing 7 fewer penalties for Rockin City, and they're down 18 points. It
was those 2 crucial 12-point jams that have put Panhandle United in the lead going into halftime. We'll be back in you're watching this on YouTube, so it's not
3
live.
or 4 seconds?
Yeah, 3 or 4 seconds. We'll be back. I've been Dork Mistress.
My name's Party on Barth.
And we're back on day 2, game 2 of the Clover Cup here in North Richland Hills, Dallas, Texas, home of the Dallas Derby Devils, hosts of this WFTDA recognized team. I'm Dork Mistress.
I'm Party on Barth.
And we have had a thrilling first half in Rockin City Roller Girls versus Panhandle United Roller Derby. Rockin City on 58, Panhandle United on 76. We have had 5 lead changes in the first half.
Been a great back and forth here. A couple of things that are jumping out looking at the stats here. Chola Rolla, the jammer for Rockin City, 100% lead, 6 for 6. 25 points on the board there, so that's a fantastic lead differential. But, there's always a but there, right? Only 4.2 points per jam.
Yeah.
So, able to pick up lead, able to control the clock, but Panhandle United is able to end those jams early and make sure Chola's only putting up a few points. Yeah. Behind Chola Rolla, Anthrax for Rockin City, 83% lead. So, Rockin City is doing a great job of picking up lead. But then you look over on Panhandle United, Quentin Tarantuyu's 29 points, J-Lo Payne scoring 28 points. So you got the best lead differential for Rockin City, but your 2 highest scorers are on Panhandle United. Really great matchup.
But the thing to check on Quentin Tarantillo is 4 penalties in that first half, 2 in 1 jam.
Back to back, very quick there.
And so that puts Quentin Tarantino probably lower on the jammer rotation with that number of penalties. And looking at penalties across the 2 teams, Panhandle with a couple of players on floor, including Mitchie Gangster. Less penalties on Rockin City, so we've got 18 penalties for Rockin City, 26 for Panhandle. Miss Destruction, also a jammer on Rockin City, also on 4.
Yep. So Miss Destruction also had, I think, 2 very quickly to each other. So only 3 skaters with 4 there. Mitchie Gangster is playing as pivot a lot for Panhandle United, so that can affect the strategy a little bit there. But it looks like we're going to be starting the second half here with J-Lo Payne in black for Panhandle United up against Moxie Balboa in the white for Rockin City. We've got a multiplayer block getting called against a Rockin City blocker. But that's okay. Moxie's going to pick up lead. We're going to start out with a Rockin City lead jam.
That was great offense from Rockin City that got Moxie through on the inside. But we have got J-Lo Payne on a forearms penalty heading into the penalty box. Power jam for Rockin City. Just what you want to come out with after half time. So Moxie now has lead and has pack advantage. Just 2 Panhandle blockers on the track.
Looks like Susie Q, number 2626 for Panhandle United, going to the penalty box. And so we've got 3 black jerseys sitting in the penalty box, but that's leaving Overall Redden blocker. We've said that name a few times as a blocker. And let's see here, that is, I see a 004. That's Tank out there for Panhandle United. So Panhandle, if you're going to have some blockers out there, they are not some bad ones to have there. But Moxie's just able to make work on that curve there, picks up 4 points on turn 2. And there's J-Lo Payne again, just back on the track, unseen.
Coming at speed.
80 miles per hour.
For Moxie Balboa and the pack. So J-Lo now scoring. Moxie calls the jam, but J-Lo squeezes a point out. Rockin City picking up 12. So Rockin City now on 70, Panhandle on 77. First jam back, down to a 7-point game.
I'm not sure if comparing skaters to other skaters, it's something as a sport we like to do because you always want to say they're like so-and-so. J-Lo Payne obviously is J-Lo Payne and is doing her thing as a jammer. Man, she looks like Lose Chaos. Just that small down, dig in. Holy smokes, is she fun to watch here. On the jammer line, Rainbow comes flying through for Panhandle United up against Chola Rolla. So this is Chola Rolla's first jam, not picking up lead. However, not worried. She is right on Rainbow's hips.
I mean, literally right on, like they're doing some kind of paceline drill together. But they're both approaching the pack, but the pack is speeding up. That's being driven by Panhandle, trying to speed the pack up. Oh!
Wow, Matt, big hit on turn 2. That leads to the call-off. I don't know if that was a Rockin City blocker who had fallen back from the pack, but both jammers went down. That was the call-off. Nobody's getting points on that jam.
No. So we stay at 70 to 77. Oh, that was a lot of fun to watch, but I don't think it was a lot. I don't think that was a lot of fun to play.
Sometimes, some blockers, that's their worst nightmares when you see that pack start to pick up. Yeah. That was great watching them there. On the jammer line, Granny Crush in black up against number 22, Anthrax on the jammer line. Granny Crush working the inside there. A great offensive hit there by Panhandle United blocker, number 004, Tank. That sprung Granny from the tripod, but one block able to knock Granny out of bounds. Now, Anthrax knocked out of bounds, so both jammers recycled. We don't have a lead yet going into turn 2. There we go. Granny comes out, passes the hips, picks up lead jammer.
And Rockin City's wall was a bit split up in that pack. I don't know whether that was Panhandle doing that or they just got drifted apart, but that enabled Granny Crush to come out as lead.
Something I was chatting with a couple of the other announcers over here, the offensive blocking, and I apologize that we're not calling this out as much, the offensive blocking has been on point in that first half. And, I mean, we're seeing it again here in the second half. So Granny picks up the 4 points there, calls off the jam. That's going to go ahead and put Panhandle United with 26 minutes left in the game here up 81 to 70 for Rockin City. Quentin Tarantuyu on the jammer line there up against number 669 in white, Miss Destruction.
And this next jam brought to you by Ruby Ribbon. Bras are the worst, I can agree. Ditch your bra and get the comfort and support in a cami without annoyance of bras and underwires. Check them out online. That's Ruby Ribbon.
And we got the whistle there. Quentin Tarantuyu is pushing the Rockin City blockers up front. Wow. Okay, so Quentin got knocked out of bounds, recycled just correctly right when Miss Destruction got called on a track cut. So we're looking at a power jam for Panhandle United. There's lead jammer there for Quentin. Here's the other concern. We talked about it at halftime. That's Miss Destruction's 5th penalty.
Yes.
So this one's going to put a little concern there. Quentin also with 4 penalties, but not worried in the least on there, looking for 4 points instead.
Miss Destruction standing in the box, about to be released. So Quentin Tarantuyu, apologies, trying to maximize that power jam and has completed the scoring pass. But Miss Destruction back on track, slams into the pack.
Packs a punch, doing some great blocking against number 989, Dimples Destroyer.
But that was number 23, Sicilian Psycho from Rockin City. Sorry, that's Fury from Rockin City. Not blocking to the line, and that allowed Quentin Tarantuyu out.
8 points on the board so far for Panhandle United. Miss Destruction reapproaches the pack before the whistle. Just in. Let's see what the call off. It's a penalty. Illegal contact.
Yes, that. Yeah.
Late hit.
No, because that's a misconduct hand signal.
The chop.
No. A late hit is a misconduct hand signal.
Yep. Okay.
So that was an illegal contact penalty.
Huh. Official timeout called. That one, I don't know. I do know here, Mitchie Gangster also was called on a penalty. That's putting Mitchie at 5. This is concerning for Miss Destruction just because the Miss Destruction's definitely going for the 6.
Yeah, this is a 6th penalty. So
an official timeout right after a penalty. Yeah.
So the captains have gone into the track, but there's no official review. So I think they're just waiting to see what the refs are discussing.
Yeah, this is something a little bit. Something's going on here. We'll find out when we get there. But going in,
I'd probably say it's to do with that melee at the end.
It was a big hit there on turn 1. So with that jam, though, that was a 9-point jam by Panhandle United. So that puts Panhandle up 90-70. We're looking at about 24-15 left. Jam number 4 in the second period here.
So while we're in this official review, talking about Atom Skates, high-quality skates for affordable pricing. Something for everyone at Atom Skates. Check them out online. So the head ref.
I see Rockin' City's coaches are kind of shrugging at each other.
So the head ref is now talking to Miss Destruction.
And as they have their chat there, real quick shout out to Kaya Skates. Kaya setting new standards in derby, park skating, and lifestyle roller skates. Now taking orders on the new Kaya Kismet, the perfect park skate for $229. Check out Kaya, that's Chaya.
So head ref now consulted with the Rockin' City Roller Girls, and that is Miss Destruction out of the penalty box, has fouled out, I suspect.
Taking the star cover off, headed to the box.
Locker room. Headed to the locker room. So Rockin' City will have to put a jammer in the box to start the next jam, because somebody has to sit that penalty.
Yep, somebody's going to finish that out there.
Yep.
And it looks like they're going to go ahead and move Moxie Balboa. So at the end of the power start here, Panhandle United's put J-Lo Payne on the line. So J-Lo's going to have a 30-second power start. Coming out of that, Moxie Balboa will be the jammer for Rockin' City. Assuming J-Lo doesn't ice her in the box. Just throwing that out there. J-Lo approaching. We've got a brace tripod up on the front side for Rockin' City. Here comes the offensive over for Panhandle, and there goes J-Lo Payne, lead jammer status.
That was a good piece of positional blocking from Panhandle, just being in the right place, splitting up Rockin' City to let J-Lo through.
It's absolutely what they practice for. On a power jam situation, 10 seconds, and they've got lead. You want to get it. You want to, if you can, get those 4 points on the board before the jammer comes out. There it is, 4 points on the board for Panhandle, and Moxie is standing and back on the track. Here we go, both jammers back out. Panhandle United, a little bit more offensive help there. Left a brace 2 in the back to go ahead and catch Moxie. J-Lo Payne getting some help going, and there's a track cut. 2-minute jam. J-Lo Payne is headed to the box.
I mean, this has been quite a penalty-heavy game for the jammers, but this second half has been crazy. I mean, we've already had 10 penalties in this first 7 minutes, most of those from jammers.
It's one of those games. Still early on a Saturday. Moxie comes through. Finished initial pass earlier, now 4 on the board for Rockin' City. So this is a good little turn of events for Rockin' City. They can put some points up here. It's a 20-point differential at this point. Take a chip away from that with a little bit of a power jam. Wasn't a long one, though. J-Lo Payne's back on the track. And once again, barely getting seen. J-Lo Payne just knocking one Rockin' City blocker into another. Picks up the 4 points.
Packing a massive punch, J-Lo Payne, in the pack just then.
Moxie just had a little bit of a heartbeat moment there. Thought she got called on a penalty. Turns out it was a Rockin' City blocker was sent to a penalty. Moxie's back on the track, puts the 4 points on. J-Lo's behind, putting the 4 points on. 10 seconds left. We're going to see if anybody else can get some hips on there. Moxie coming through, reapproaching, hitting. There's 1, maybe 2. Don't think J-Lo cleared anybody. We're seeing 2 points for Rockin' City on the end there. No points, Panhandle United.
Wow. So 12 points for Panhandle United in that jam. 10 for Rockin' City. So 80 for Rockin' City. Now playing 102 for Panhandle. And we have just 22 minutes left in this game. This first 8 minutes has been breathtaking.
That's a 2-minute jam there. And it's a +2 for Panhandle United. Not too shabby there. On the jammer line, we are looking at Chola Rolla versus Rainbow. Rainbow working against the Rockin' City tripod, pushing forward. Panhandle, though, getting pushed forward just enough, so we do have a full pack here. Nobody is split off yet.
And it's Panhandle United's Rainbow on the outside, just duking faster than the Rockin City can keep up to get lead.
Just on time for Rainbow also. Rockin City had released their fourth blocker from the penalty box, so Rainbow was able to take advantage of the pack disadvantage, and now Rainbow's headed to the box.
Just as Rockin City have passed the star to Moneasy as pivot, so now completing their initial pass.
Thought I saw an official review during the jam, and I'm like, oh, that's a wall-up signal. Never mind. Panhandle's doing just fine. Moneasy now coming inside line. 4 points on the board as Jammer taking advantage of this power jam situation. Rockin City put 3 on the inside, 1 there. Here comes the offensive help up against Panhandle. Panhandle has a double, had 2 braces there. Push, 1 down, 1 more to beat. And they caught her. Moneasy is knocked out of bounds. Panhandle reforms right in front. Rainbow's back on the track and gets met by the Rockin City blockers here, and there's a track cut. Somebody's going off the track.
It's not Moneasy who clears the pack.
It's Rainbow.
Yeah.
Panhandle United's headed to the box. It's going to be a 30-second power jam. 33 seconds left in the jam here. Is Rainbow going to be able to get there fast enough to avoid the power start? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a 1-second power start.
Yep. Moneasy, though, making the best. That was a big hit to the inside, but this is Moneasy's 3rd scoring pass. That was number
Mitchie
101.
Gangster.
Yeah.
Oh, no, excuse me. 101. Let's see.
Is not on our list.
Corella DeVille?
No, other team.
Oh, other team. It's number 7. Number 7, Mitchie Gangster, made that hit. Knocked Moneasy, who's happy to end this jam. Knocked Moneasy down. Looks like it was a penalty called, though. So that means Mitchie Gangster's on her 6th penalty.
But big, huge jam for Rockin City. 12 points, taking them to 92. 2 points for Panhandle United, taking them to 104. We are back to a 12-point game. 20 minutes left to go.
I didn't eat my Wheaties this morning. I can't handle this.
But this tournament has brought... This is the 3rd game in the tournament that's this close, that's this much fun.
Okay, looks like big moment here.
Yeah.
Panhandle United. Okay, I'm a little confused here. I'm not... Okay, yeah, 1-second power start there for Rockin City. Rockin City did not get one of their blockers on the track, so they're going to skate this jam with only 3 blockers. Panhandle United has 2 blockers in the box. They didn't have Rainbow on the track as jammer. They waited. A little bit of confusion. Rainbow got back on the track. Now has lead. Panhandle United able to take full advantage of that situation to pick up lead.
Yeah.
But here we go coming up. Moxie Balboa as jammer also clears initial, going for the points. Rainbow's not calling it off yet.
That was Panhandle using that confusion around the start to get Rainbow out, and it's been effective. But
power jam.
Yeah, that was a penalty for Moxie Balboa. Power jam to Panhandle. Oh, there's a lot of excitement in the room, and Panhandle also only have 2 blockers on track.
Nice apex hop.
Yeah, sorry, Rockin City 2 blockers on track. Panhandle split them up, wouldn't let them be next to each other, so Rainbow could just jump over the one on the inside. However, there are now 3 Rockin City on the track, but it's too late. Rainbow threw for another 4 points, 4 scoring passes.
Fantastic offensive blocking for Rainbow there. There were only 2 Rockin City blockers on there, so Panhandle just sent 1 offense there, able to do enough of a push to open up that inside lane. Rainbow one more time, just hopping just a little bit over the line. Looks like 2-6-2-6 Panhandle United's Susie Q is going to be headed to the penalty box. Box is cleared for a moment there. So Rainbow's on the track, Moxie's on the track. Rainbow's got 4 more on the point. This is a 20-point jam. This is going to be our highest scoring jam so far in this bout by anybody, and it's for Panhandle United.
But Moxie Balboa also starting to rack up the points. That's another 4. Rainbow squeezes another 4 out of this jam, taking it to a 24-point jam. That is 6 scoring passes in 2 minutes, taking them to 128. Rockin City on 96, picking up 4 points. So there are now 32 points between the 2 teams.
Solid move there by Rainbow. You've got to enjoy it. That's 7 successful passes. You're right, 6 passes. You got to remember the initial there, too, to get lead. Fantastic job there. So on the jammer line, we're seeing Handthrax for Rockin City up against Granny Crush. At this point, Rockin City, it's a 30-plus point differential here, but this bout has swung back and forth so many times here. Anthrax, I don't think, is worried at all there. Working against the front side there. Panhandle United getting pushed forward. Had to drop 1, so the tripod dropped to a brace 2. Lead jammer, Anthrax for Rockin City in white.
Yes, so far Panhandle have had lead 6 times in this half to Rockin City's 2, so it's good to see Rockin City getting that lead to be in control of the jam. Want to see more of that over the next few jams if they want to close this gap down.
What we're also seeing, though, for Panhandle United, we talked about the differential in lead jammer. This is now swung to a 48% for Rockin City, 45% for Panhandle United. Panhandle United is getting the stats more in their favor, but Anthrax headed to the box now, so lead jammer is not in effect right now. Forearm penalty is going to go ahead and lead this to a 2-minute jam for Granny Crush.
But that's a hit out from number 23, Fury, who's having a great game on that defense. Just some big hits coming from Fury on Granny Crush.
Granny's got the star off. They're looking at Mitchie Gangster. Keeps the star for the moment in a stash. Rockin City blockers to the front. Panhandle sending 2 for offensive help. So they're not splitting the pack yet at this point. They are staying, giving some offensive help to Granny.
But it's 2 on 2. It's that pairing at the back of Bossy Nova and I think Shiner Knock at the back that are just being... Shiner Knock at the back being very effective as 2 on 2. 2 on 1 blocking, rather.
Power jam situation. Granny Crush got called on a track cut. That's a rough track cut to take as a jammer. Looked like she was kind of yielding position, but not enough to where the ref really saw that as a yield. So that is a track cut there. That means Rockin City with 100 points now, breaking the triple digits, is going to go ahead and have a power start here as we hit the 2 minutes.
And picked up 4 points in that last jam, taking them to the 100. So now 28 points behind Panhandle, who are on 128. With that power start, that's a good result for them, bearing in mind that they had the penalty early in the jam. Panhandle unable to capitalize on it.
I'm going to pay the highest compliment I can pay to the blockers there. That was only a 4-point jam.
Yes.
2 minutes there, a lot of back and forth, and both teams held to 4 points on the board for Rockin City. Rockin City sending to the jammer line here. Chola Rolla, who in this point how is their second best scorer. Moxie Balboa with a couple of jams out there, put up as now at 26 points. Chola Rolla only 1 behind at 25. Picks up lead, is certainly going to try to do within a little bit of competitiveness between the teammates there, try to get more points.
Yes. Granny Crush out of the box and back on track. A helmet cover in their hand. Chola Rolla in the pack, scoring points. Hit to the outside and recycled, as is Granny Crush.
Granny just avoided another track cut. Chola Rolla, though, headed to the box. We have another 2-minute jam here, and it looks like 1-6-2-0. Orville Redenblocker has taken the star as pivot, is now the jammer. Panhandle United again with a power jam situation here.
Yeah.
Orville working the inside line, able to push a Panhandle blocker into lane 2 from 1, puts the 4 points on the board.
And that, just looking at the board, just looking at who's picking up the points, and, Orville Wrecking Blocker, this will put them on the board for points because we are on a scoring pass, but that was 3 points. There was, 4.
Yep. Looks like they did earn that this year, and that final point there after all.
But Chola Rolla back on track up front in the pack as Orville Wrecking Blocker comes round for another scoring pass.
And Chola not only back on the track, it does pick up 4 points coming out of the box there, having already made initial pass. So nice hit out there to Orville by number 42 in the white. That's going to be Red Ripper. Want to send a big thanks real quick to Brutiful Monstar, our fantastic producers, getting us all of the stats here, keeping track of those penalties especially, which have just been a little bit of a track there. Chola Rolla gets an unearned pass there, so able to pick up. There's 4, having already passed that blocker before the hit out there. Rockin City sending a blocker to the box, so this is going to keep Panhandle United with a pack advantage. I'm seeing 4 more on the board for Panhandle United. That's a 12-point jam versus 8 points for Rockin City. 4-point differential on there gives Panhandle United 140 to Rockin City's 108.
Wow. So we are now 140 for Panhandle, as you said, to 108. I'm just because I need to see that again. I mean, oh, wow. So we have a 32-point differential.
And a leaping timeout.
Yeah. So Rockin City with a timeout. I would expect, maybe I would have done that if I was coach a couple of jams before, because Panhandle have had the momentum for a little bit, and so timeouts can be really useful to just regroup, but also take that momentum away from the other team. So 11 minutes 51 left in this game. Quick chance to talk to you about Atom Skates, high quality skates for affordable pricing. Something for everyone at Atom Skates. They have a stand here, or you can check them out online. Wow, this game though. And there's not much more than I can say than wow, this game.
Can I just say, I am so happy that it's a matchup of you and I as announcers, because it's, for those who don't know in announcing, we tend to have, there's the play-by-play, there's the color, we go back. It's nice to be able to hand off because, man, this is stretching us as announcers, our skill set here. So this is fantastic.
Just trying to keep up with what's going on track.
Like, these skaters are putting everything on the track. We've said it before, the benches, the strategy has been on point there. Man, this is the kind of game you want. If you're ever thinking about announcing, this is what you want to do here. The 32-point differential there, the way this game has gone, that's not that big of a differential, and especially with the ranking differences we were talking about with both teams in the hundreds.
But also 12 minutes left in this game, so Panhandle do not have this game locked down, although they're doing their best. Quentin Terrantayu picking up lead jammer.
But guess who's out of the box? They're right on track. There's Hanthrax.
And about 30 feet behind Quentin Terrantayu, so forcing Quentin to call that jam, and just checking on the jam ref, who is checking with the OPR. No points. So we stay at 108, 140.
Hanthrax with a big smile on her face coming off the track. Their hat star in hand was flying around the curve there.
She did a good job forcing that call off.
Speaking of flying around the curve, we are going to see Moxie Balboa up against J-Lo Payne on the jammer line. Looks like I'm seeing 2 white jerseys out there, so we got 2 blockers for Rockin City. Panhandle sends 1 offensive help. J-Lo Payne, lateral move to the outside, picks up lead.
And we actually have just 1 Rockin City blocker on the track, just as they're released. So J-Lo facing 3 blockers released in front, but having to... Oh, that was a big hit. That was number 984.
Solid hit.
That was huge. Dimple's Destroyer.
And Insidious, who was out there earlier, number 789. Yep, saw that one right in front of us there. J-Lo Payne's headed to the box on a forearm penalty. That hand was just a little up in the air, caught an elbow into the blocker's head. So J-Lo Payne's headed to the box, so that means no more lead. We're going 2 minutes on this one. So Moxie Balboa is going to go ahead and try to take advantage. We've got 3 blockers for each team, so there's no advantage on there. But I think everybody kind of took a breath on that one. Moxie takes the inside line, puts 4 points on the board.
Yeah.
Now got 2 white jerseys out on the track for Rockin City. So Moxie definitely wants to go ahead and do as much as one jammer out there.
Wow, but if you see that, so Rockin City blockers on the inside line, but Moxie takes the outside and doesn't face defense when she just slid by on the outside. Don't know what happened there. So it was a corner away from where we were, but that was easier than it should have been.
Everybody getting to take, like I say, I think it was kind of one of those take a breath moments here. Rockin City is able to clear the penalty box, so everybody's back. J-Lo Payne's back on the track, puts 4 more points on the board. And we've got a Rockin City pivot. 789 there. Insidious is just hauling tail, trying to catch back up to the pack that was moving full speed. J-Lo Payne catches the pack, passes everybody. 4 more on the board, so we're looking at 8 points each. Moxie's back in the pack picking up points. We're 10 seconds left. Again, nobody's got lead to be able to call this jam off.
But Moxie is looking like she's having some trouble in the pack. She's looking, I think, for offense or for some help. She's looking a bit tired. I think she's had enough in this jam.
Number 989, Dimple's Destroyer headed to the box for 4th penalty.
But that is 12 points each to Rockin City and Panhandle United. So it's now 120 playing 152. And you can, I think, I mean, if I was Moxie, I would have wanted that jam to be over. That looked hard work.
Well, and that's one of those, too. You almost wonder if the matchup there, like we said, J-Lo Payne's got that. J-Lo Payne's a much shorter jammer than Moxie is. And on the jammer line now, we're looking at Chola Rolla up against Rainbow. It was one of those, you almost wonder if Moxie was kind of drawing all the attention being a taller jammer.
Yeah.
So everybody's kind of looking, and J-Lo's just so good at getting so low. J-Lo's at people's hip level with her helmet.
Yeah.
Fantastic move there. Again,
both teams have got 1 blocker in the pack, in the box, and it is Chola Rolla, lead jammer. We've said that before.
Few times there. That's actually 8 leads out of 10 jams, an 80% differential. Fantastic. And it's not going to hurt that this is now a power jam for Cholarola. Rainbow's headed to the box for Panhandle United. Power jam, Rockin City. Chola's going to got some work to do here, though. 152 to 124 after Chola puts 4 points on the board. So we're going to see.
That was Paxa Punch on the last jam, on the last pass, who did not block to the line, so Cholarola slid by. And again on the inside, I think Panhandle aren't blocking right to the line. Chola's sliding through.
So I was about to comment that the top jam so far for Rockin City, the top scoring jam, Moxie Balboa had a 12-point jam. Chola, I thought, might be going for that, but Chola actually doing better than I did on strategy on there. Called the jam off, icing Rainbow to give a power start to Anthrax for Rockin City on here.
Yeah. 8 points for Rockin City in that jam, so they're now 128, 152, so 24-point differential between the two teams. And as you say, we have Anthrax on the jam line.
Looked like Rockin City was trying to catch a blocker on the backside, trying to keep the pack in the back. Didn't end up getting the catch there, so Panhandle United is able to put their defense up front and catch Cholarola. Anthrax. She was coming through. Both jammers coming through. Chola just getting in front of Rainbow, able to pick up lead. Chola starts to pull back a little bit. Rainbow's going forward. Anthrax. I'm sorry. Yes, Anthrax picks up lead there. Rainbow gets in front of Anthrax, calls the jam off. No points. Yeah. That's what you want to see for Panhandle United if you've got that power start against you.
That was great work for Rainbow, and so that power start just wasn't. Rockin City couldn't do anything about that.
Good move by Anthrax. I'm going to give there on a 3-day tournament and in the second half there. As much as you'd love to see a jammer just fight and keep going there, kind of took it a little easy, took a breath, saved the energy for another jam. Yeah. On the jammer line now, we're seeing Moxie Balboa back up there, up against number 1-1, Quentin Tarantuyu. Quentin comes out of there. I've said this a couple of times here. Lead jammer, Panhandle United. So Quentin's got 38 points in this game so far, 50% lead differential. Moxie, like I said, has that top scoring jam, 38 points for Rockin City. Moxie's out. Everybody's in scoring position. Quentin checks. Moxie's approaching from the other side of the track. Quentin goes for points, calls it. 1 point on the board for Panhandle United. 0 points, Rockin City.
And we have 5.5 minutes left in this game. So 25 points between the two teams. So Panhandle now in control, I think, firmly for the last, sort of 10 minutes of this game. I mean, even with all that penalty toing and throwing, they've been able to extend that lead out, and we have just 5 minutes for Rockin City to do something about it.
Panhandle does have a few blockers that are they're at 6 penalties right now, so that could be a concern there. On the jammer line, we're looking at Granny Crush in black for Panhandle United. Up against, I believe that was Chola. Yep, Cholarola in white for Rockin City. Track cut called, though, on Granny Crush. Lead jammer called for Rockin City. This is going to be a power jam. Cholarola.
And that was Rockin City forcing that cut track on Granny Crush. That was great work from the defense team.
Anybody watching this bout here now from New Mexico or the neighboring area, Cholarola is all fast there. Calls off the jam, but we do have a Rockin City skater down. That's going to be 2-1-1. That's Beth Wish. Looks like took a little bit of a fall and hit the helmet. Yeah. So we're going to have our EMTs out here. Absolutely want to make sure that she is safe and sound. And while we're in this official timeout, just a chance to talk about Kaya Skates. Kaya setting new standards in Derby Park and lifestyle roller skates. Now taking orders for the Kaya Kismet, the perfect park skate for $229. So 2 points for Rockin City in that last jam, so it's now 23 points. 130 plays, 153 for Panhandle, and 4.5 minutes left to go. Both teams look like they've kind of settled into their strategies here in the second half. The first half, Rockin City put up 58 in the entire period. Rockin City now has 70 points in the second half. So they've kind of they've changed it up a little bit there at halftime there. It looks like it's working for them. But Panhandle United put up 76. Now they're at 77. So they got more points. Yeah. But the differential's not quite as wide as it was earlier. Yeah. So we're starting to see a chip away. Beth Wish is standing. That's a good sign. We're glad to see that. And especially with concerns about head injuries out there. Glad that Beth is able to get up there. Going to go ahead and take a moment there. Yeah. And they'll go and check her out. Yep. Take the jams off. Obviously, if it's going to be more than that. Head injuries are something we want to make sure of. So
big
thanks to all of the volunteers that are out here. We had some great volunteers, but especially huge. There's only one set of people I ever want to kind of be lazy about, and I want it to be the EMTs. If anybody can take their time, just sit and watch the game, I want it to be the fans and the EMTs. But when you need them, Texas Health Sports Medicine's just been doing a great job this weekend here. And again, just making sure all the skaters are safe and able to come out of this all right.
But we are ready to get underway. Rockin City are lining up, and that's the whistle to get the game back on.
So we are looking at, this is going to be a power start situation for Rockin City. They've got on the line there Cholarola 1096. So again, I mean, if you got a power start situation.
And look how the blockers have lined up to give the offense.
Lined up on the inside line there. They could have fanned if they needed to. Decided to hold back on this one. Chola didn't need the offensive help except maybe one blocker on the backside. Picks up lead jammer, Rockin City Roller Girls.
We call that a train where I'm from. Not a fan. I like the fan.
You know what? As long as it's effective, just don't do it against my team, and you can call it whatever.
So Chola pushing out up front on that scoring pass.
Chola actually getting pushed by the Panhandle blockers. Looks like Chola was rolling with those blockers so well, though. It was a low-resistance block. Took up the time, but not a lot of energy spent there.
But I think Panhandle, when they're looking at how they handle Chola, they need to be blocking to be on the line, and that's letting Chola sort of slip through on the inside or the outside.
They are kind of staying in those lane 2, lane 3 center lanes there. So Chola is in scoring position, able to take lane 1, that inside line, just like you said.
Again.
You called it there. Orville Redden blocker, the pivot for Panhandle United in the box for the moment here. So Granny Crush back on the track a while ago, I believe still working on initial pass. Yeah, looking at the jam ref, it does look like an initial pass. Cholarola using Granny Crush up against the Panhandle blockers. They're kind of mashed everybody up away from lane 1. Picks up 4 more points here. We have an 11-point game in the middle of this jam.
So that, with Chola now in the pack on 4th scoring pass. Granny Crush is still on, is on a scoring pass. Didn't pick up any points.
But Chola picked up 16 points. 153, Panhandle United 146. Just under 3 minutes left, and I am so sorry if my knocking the table just came through the microphone.
And there was me, like a jam ago, saying, Panhandle are looking strong and secure in their position. And then one jam. We say 2 minutes is a long time in roller derby. That is the proof. We are now, as you say, at a 7-point game, 2 minutes 27 on the clock. Anthrax against J-Lo Payne on the jam line, and it's J-Lo Payne.
J-Lo Payne coming off the bench is like, no, this needs to end. I'm not playing anymore. J-Lo Payne slicing through, picks up lead. Anthrax knocked out of bounds and recycled by Orville Redden block.
Almost all the way back to the jam line as J-Lo sails through.
Lane 4 wide open, that outside line takes full advantage. Anthrax, though, able to fight through, takes the inside line in scoring position now. J-Lo's got 4 on the board, going for more. Knocked down in the middle of the pack. Calls off the jam just in time to ball up for a fall small. 4 points on there. Forearm penalties getting called against Rockin City blocker. Let's see. Try a little confusion. Who's going to the box?
And we have an official review on that last jam. So at the moment, it's 8 points for Panhandle in that jam, taking them to 161. 146 for Rockin City. So we're back to a 15-point game. Oh my lord.
Not enough. It's just not enough yet.
The swings and momentum, the roundabouts and fortunes in this game are just keeping me on the edge of my seat.
And that's been one of the best things about this tournament. Again, big shout out to the seeding and the teams that have been invited here. We've had a lot of bouts where you knew kind of coming into them, you're like, okay, this differential is going to affect rankings. So, you're kind of pulling. Some of these lower ranked teams, and I don't have the rankings right in front of me right now to be able to say, some of these lower ranking teams are coming in to win. This is not a moral victory kind of tournament at all. And I mean, obviously nobody's pulling for that. Everybody wants the W all the time. But man, we've had some teams that it's like, not only we're going to only lose by 25. No, these teams are coming in going, we're going to win by 25, and they're doing it.
It's been a fascinating tournament. Huge thank you to the Dallas Derby Devils for hosting the Clover Cup again. So we're just finding the piece of card that we have. a fancy piece of card.
A day and a half of notes, and half of them are on the floor. I apologize. Rockin City, we are looking out. Ranked 141. Panhandle United's ranked 152. So, I mean, that's an 11-position advantage for Rockin City, but they have a 15-point disadvantage in this game.
And Panhandle have been in control for more of the game. I mean, I know we've had a number of lead changes, but it's usually been Panhandle in front, Rockin City then having to catch up.
30-point lead earlier on by Panhandle. So, I mean, Rockin City, if you looked up again, the first half when we went into halftime was 76-58 for Panhandle.
Yeah.
In the second half, Rockin City's got a 3-point advantage in just the second period. So, yeah, this game is not over yet. Looking at lead differential, Rockin City's got 50% lead.
Yeah.
Penalties still, Panhandle's a little bit higher, but they still have the points. Oh, here's the official review.
So that was Panhandle looking for a change in the points, which was reviewed by the officials, and the current points stand, so Panhandle lose their official review.
Also, that's one of those official reviews you wonder if it was also to get a little bit more of a breath. A minute 40 left in here. We're under 2 minutes. The official review is over. So on the jammer line,
and with it being this close, you don't want to give away any timeout that you don't have to.
And any bit of stamina you can get your team back is going to be an advantage there. So we're looking at Moxie Balboa versus Rainbow on the jammer line. We've got one Rockin City blocker in the box. Pile up right up the line. Rainbow just destroyed the Rockin City defense there. Knocks a blocker to the ground. Rainbow's out. Has lead jammer status. Passing the jam line again. Moxie's got one more to beat. Reform right in front. And Moxie's headed to the box with a track cut and a pretty good fall on the hip there, too. Yeah. So Moxie's headed to the box. This is going to be a power jam for Rainbow. Rainbow's going to just, not only are we looking at the clock.
Yeah. I think Rainbow will be looking to run the clock or to run this jam as long as possible. Yeah.
We've got a minute 20 on the jam clock and a minute left on the period clock.
Yeah.
Panhandle now at this point. Rainbow's just putting points up. 8 points so far, knocked out of bounds by 7, 8, 9. That's Insidious out there. Rainbow inside line. Some offensive help. They're giving inside line again. 4 points on the board. That's 12, putting us at 172. Moxie's back on the track there. Moxie's going to do everything to get a few more points on the board there. Outside line, inside line.
But with 45 seconds on the clock, this is pretty much the game. And it's these last two jams where Panhandle put on multiple scoring passes last time, and this penalty for Moxie, I think, was the end for Rockin City.
Maybe not.
Oh?
Rainbow calls off the jam, puts 3 more on the board.
However, it was 3, 2,
Look to the benches, look to the benches.
Nope, that's it.
And we're waiting on the whistle.
So that's the unofficial score. 175 points to Panhandle. 146 to Rockin City. We're just waiting for that to be finalised. But big win for Panhandle United, who are ranked 152 in the WFTDA. Rockin City ranked at 141, coming with the loss. So this will affect rankings. Panhandle are absolutely thrilled. You can see that from the bench.
This is also going to set up a really interesting matchup later on in the tournament. With this win, Panhandle United's going to go up against number 1 seed Crossroads.
Wow.
In the 8th game this tournament. Crossroads did fall to Assassination City, so both of those teams are trying to come up through the bottom of the bracket again to get into the finals there. That's going to send Rockin City with Rockin City with the loss here is going to go. They are now 7th place.
Yes. So this is the first placing that we've actually had in this tournament.
Yep.
So 7th place in this tournament. Now we know is going to be Rockin City Roller Girls. The next game coming up, we have Chattanooga up against Pikes Peak.
That game is going to be insane. Write that down.
Yeah, that is going to be insane. Pikes Peak already played this morning, played just 4 hours ago. And the winner of that game will go into one of the games on Sunday, still in the bracket, and the loser will be the 5th place player.
Oh.
Wow. So we have got 5 more games for you today, so don't go anywhere. Then, like we said, the next one, Chattanooga versus Pikes Peak. That will be on, well, obviously in a few seconds for you watching on YouTube. This has been an amazing game. So much fun and excitement and passion on the track. I've been Dork Mistress.
My name is Party on Barth. Big thanks to Brutal Monstar on the production there. Have a fantastic